Watchtower Theological Abuse Analysis, the cynicism structure, when people stopped believing real change was possible. Have you ever listened to someone apologise and already know how the story would end? Not because you wanted them to fail, because you had watched the same cycle too many times before. A brother hears another confession, another hidden relationship, another secret conversation, another marriage under pressure. His reaction's no longer shock. It is prediction. The realisation disturbs him. The congregation has entered a different stage now. People no longer expect transformation. They expect repetition. A sister learns another publisher has been meeting privately with someone they should not be seeing. Nobody appears surprised. The names change. The pattern remains. An elder begins another shepherding conversation involving sexual misconduct. Halfway through the discussion, he realises he has had versions of this same conversation dozens of times before. The Kingdom Hall still sounds spiritually hopeful, and that's the contradiction. The language remains optimistic. The expectations, however, continue deteriorating. And inside performance-governed systems, cynicism develops when repeated failure becomes more believable than genuine change. The Watchtower self continues speaking about victory, while the real self increasingly expects sinful relapse. Another emotional affair develops. Another pornography struggle resurfaces. Another marriage quietly weakens. Another rumour begins circulating through the congregation. Another apology is offered. Another cycle starts again. The atmosphere changes. Publishers begin assuming hidden corruption exists before evidence even appears. A husband quietly expects disappointment. A wife privately prepares for betrayal. An elder wonders whether organisational appearances are now preserving optimism that fewer and fewer people actually believe. And the room still sounds faithful. The congregation increasingly feels resigned. And the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, through its kingdom halls and propaganda, repeatedly reinforces spiritual progress, moral cleanness, faithful endurance, congregational purity, and organisational loyalty as evidence of spiritual safety. Yet repeated cycles of hidden corruption can gradually produce emotional resignation instead of spiritual confidence. And the scriptural witness presses directly into the atmosphere. Galatians 9 warns believers not to grow weary in doing good. Romans 12:21 warns against being overcome by evil. Hebrews 12:15 warns against bitterness taking root. And as usual, the final prayer concludes. Publishers gather in familiar groups. Conversations continue. A brother hears another troubling story and barely reacts. A sister notices her own lack of surprise. And somewhere beneath the carefully maintained spirituality, the congregation quietly crosses another threshold. People stop asking whether change is possible. The congregation begins wondering whether anyone truly ever changes at all.